leader. Father.
Please settle down, please. Kindly settle down. The inside is your place. Sit down. Find your seat, please. Please find your seat and sit down, please.
Disc playing. Conference open in the name of God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. Good afternoon, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the government of Ondo State, let me welcome all of us to the World Press Conference heralding the 50th anniversary celebration of the creation of Ondo State. Please let's put our phones in silent mode, please. The Golden Jubilee is a historic milestone celebrating 5 decades of growth, resilience, cultural pride, and progressive governance. The 50th anniversary of Ondo State is also to strengthen our unity, to showcase the rich cultural heritage, and renew our collective commitment to progress and development. Once again, you are welcome. Distinguished guests, I present to us this day the Governor of Ondo State, the Captain of our Ears, His Excellency Dr. Loki Urisaida, FCA. Your Excellency, I recognize you, sir. Let me also recognize the Deputy Governor of Ondo State, His Excellency Dr. Olaide Olabiadina. Your Excellency, I recognize you, sir. I would also like to recognize the presence of the Speaker, Right Honorable Olamide Oladiji, ably represented by the Deputy Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Olamide Oladiji. I recognize you, Mr. Speaker, you are welcome. I would also like to recognize the presence of the Chief Judge of Ondo State, my Lord Honorable Justice Olusegun Ayodeji Odushola. My Lord, I recognize you, sir. And by extension, I would like to recognize the presence of my Lord Honorable Justice Oluyemi Akito Osadebe. My Lord, I recognize you. You are welcome. Let me recognize on the top table the Secretary to the Government of Ondo State, Dr. Taiwo Fashanti, who is also the Chairman Ondo at 50th anniversary. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. We also have the Chairman of APC, Engineer Adetime. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Let me recognize on the top table the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Honorable Ijowa Janaku. I recognize you, sir. I would also like to recognize my own chairman, the Chairman, Nigerian Union of Journalists, Ondo State Council, Prince Adeleke Adegbite. I recognize you, my chairman. You are welcome. We have with us the members of the Ondo State Executive Council. Let me recognize the presence of the Honorable Commissioner for Youth and Sport Development, Honorable Henry Shegomoyofumi. I recognize you, Honorable. We have the Honorable Commissioner for Environment, Dr. Tobloko. I recognize you. The Director General PIMU, Engineer Razak Ayodelebe. I recognize you. I would also like to recognize Princess Kike Lobno Iko Mola, Special Advisor to Mr. Governor on Intergovernmental Affairs and Public Relations. I recognize you, ma'am. You are welcome. Let me recognize the Special Advisor to Mr. Governor, Honorable Akodolu Benga Amale. I recognize you, sir. The Honorable Commissioner for Commerce, Industry and Cooperative Services, Pastor Bolademo Adu. I recognize you, sir. The Special Advisor to Mr. Governor on Environment, Dr. Tunji Rema Moiro. I recognize you. The Honorable Commissioner for Energy and Mineral Resources, Engineer Jayola Johnson. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Let me recognize the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Ibekele Ajibefu. Prof, I recognize you. The Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture and Forestry, Engineer Loya Akiola. I recognize you, sir. We have the members of the Ondo State House of Assembly. Let me recognize Honorable Sulaiman Murtala Babatunde, the Chief Whip of the House. Honorable, I recognize you. Honorable Olatunji Fabiri, member of the State House of Assembly, representing the Book Constituency 1. I recognize you. And the former Deputy Speaker of the Ondo State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Rojo Godeji. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Your Excellency, we have the members of the Anniversary Committee. Let me recognize the Chief of Staff to Mr. Governor, Prince Shogbo Mojua. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. The Head of Service, I recognize you, sir. Mr. Bayo Philip. The Director General, Ondo State Media Group, Mr. Kenneth Stephen Odushola. I recognize you, sir. The Senior Special Assistant to Mr. Governor on Humanitarian Affairs and Community Integration, Honorable Mira Goyemi. I recognize you. The former Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Honorable Princess Omawumi Owoverele. I recognize you, ma. The Chairman Subeb. I recognize you, sir. Right Honorable Victor Adekunle Labinton. The Honorable Commissioner for Regional Integration and Diaspora Affairs, Otunbawale Akilosoto. I recognize you, sir. Let me recognize the MD of Okitipupa Oil Palm. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. You are also a member of that committee. I recognize you, sir. God bless you. Mr. Kayode, oh, sorry, sir. Mr. Adewale, I recognize you. Let me recognize the Chairman, Ondo State Waste Management, Honorable Yinka Alabi. I recognize you, sir. Engineer Nelson Kunle Omoyole. I recognize you, sir. Engineer Dr. Babatunde Lawal. I recognize you, sir. Sorry, sir, I don't. APC shifting. Baba Imalayi. I recognize you, sir. Let me recognize the Permanent Secretary, Political and Economic Department, Chief Dele Akinagbe. I recognize you, sir. Engineer Femi Akarakiri. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. The Permanent Secretary, Cabinet and Special Services, Mr. Yomi Adeyemi. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. We also have Barrister Emmanuel Omomoru, the CEO and Vice Chairman of NDIPA. I recognize you, sir. Good to have you with us. The Administrative Secretary of the Ondo State Ministry of Information, Mr. Larry Karakiri, and other directors. Let me use Mr. Dele Ayobami as a point of respect. Please, all the men of the fourth estate of the realm, because of our time, I recognize all of you. I will use the editor of Hope, the chairman, Mr. Fashua. So let me use you as a point of respect to save our time. We are all the MD of the Hope newspapers. I recognize you, sir. I use you. And all our leaders from NUJ, we are all welcome. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, without wasting much of our time, I'm going to invite the Governor, His Excellency, Dr. Lucky Orimison Ayedatiwa, to address the men of the fourth estate of the realm. Your Excellency, sir.
Mr. Deputy Governor, Dr. Olaide Owolabi Adelami MNI, the Speaker, Ondo State House of Assembly, who is ably represented by the Deputy Speaker, Right Honorable Begudu Ololade, the Chief Judge of Ondo State, my Lord Justice Olusegun Ayedo Dushola, the Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Taiwo Fashoranti, the caretaker chairman of our party, the largest party in Africa, Ondo State Chapter, Engineer Adetime. Kindly permit me to adopt the long list of protocols that have been established by the Director, Media, Office of the Governor, Mrs. Odofin, but not without acknowledging the press. I acknowledge all of you, members of the press, and thank you for your time, the time you have created to be part of this celebration of the 50th anniversary of the creation of Ondo State. It gives me great delight to be with you on this momentous occasion as we gather to formally herald a defining moment in the historical evolution of our dear state, the Golden Jubilee of Ondo State, marking 50 years of its creation on Tuesday, 3rd February 1976. It happened in the historic national broadcast on Tuesday, 3rd February 1976. The then military head of the Federal Military Government of Nigeria, General Muritala Ramat Mohammed, announced the creation of Ondo State as part of the far-reaching administrative and political restructuring of the Nigerian Federation. This decisive act was one of the landmark outcomes of the 1976 state creation exercise, designed to decentralize governance, enhance administrative efficiency, and bring development closer to the grassroots. And Ogun State, to the north by Kwara State, and to the south by the Atlantic Ocean. And this has changed right now since Ekiti and Osun State were created in 1996. We now have Ekiti and Osun State as our neighbors on the other side. The anniversary that we are putting together is not merely commemorative. It is civilizational in significance. It offers us a rare opportunity to interrogate our collective past, evaluate our present, and deliberately design our future. 50 years in the life of a state is sufficient time to assess the vision that inspired its birth and the fidelity with which successive administrations and generations have pursued that vision. The creation of Ondo State was the culmination of years of prolonged political agitation, intellectual advocacy, and moral persuasion. It emerged from the legitimate yearnings of our people who believed that governance must be closer to the governed and that identity, equity, and inclusive development are best achieved when people are granted administrative self-expression. The struggle was arduous, sustained by courage rather than convenience, and by conviction rather than compromise. In this regard, we owe an eternal debt of gratitude to our founding fathers, whose foresight and sacrifice laid the cornerstone of our state. We honor Chief Michael Adekunle Ajasin, our first civilian governor, a rare gem, statesman of extraordinary integrity, whose principled leadership set enduring standards for governance, public morality, and the benchmark within which governments were assessed in Ondo State. We also salute the patriotic labors of elders and nationalists such as the late Chief Ayo Fasomi, Pa Ruben Fashoranti, Basorun Sendia Robofa, Mr. Adegoroye, to mention few amongst progressive leaders whose voices and actions shaped the destiny of Ondo State. Their legacy remains embedded in our political consciousness. From its inception, Ondo State has been guided by a succession of administrators and governors, military and civilian, each operating within the peculiar constraints and possibility of their time. Beginning with Wing Commander Ita David Ekpeme, the pioneer military administrator, to the last ministry administrator, Colonel Moses Fasonya. Through subsequent administrations, the state has benefited from leadership efforts that collectively advanced its institutional growth. We respectfully acknowledge the contribution of Chief Michael Adekunle Ajasin, Chief Bamidele Olumilua, Chief Adebayo Adefarati, Dr. Olusegun Agagu, Dr. Olusegun Mimiko, and my immediate past predecessor, late Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Odunayo Akeredolu, SANCON, whose commitment to democratic consolidation, welfare, and security of the people of Ondo State remains indelible. History records governance not in absolutes, but in cumulative impact, and Ondo State stands today as evidence of those cumulative efforts. We must also pay glowing tribute to the pioneering pioneer head of service, Chief Theophilus Uwajomo, his successor, Chief Elkanah Adeneye Emulomo, and the first generation of public servants whose sacrifices laid a solid foundation for institutionalized public service and governance in Ondo State. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, over the last 50 years, Ondo State has navigated the complex terrain of statehood with resilience and adaptability. We have witnessed significant strides in education, healthcare delivery, agricultural development, industrialization, road infrastructure, public sector reforms, and human capital development. Our tertiary institutions have produced professionals of national and global relevance. Our agrarian heritage has sustained livelihoods and food security. Our urban centers have expanded, and our rural communities remain vital contributors to economic productivity. These achievements have not occurred in a vacuum. They were recorded amid economic downturns, demographic pressures, environmental challenges, and evolving security realities. Yet, the Ondo State spirit, defined by industry, intellect, has remained unbroken. As part of the Golden Jubilee anniversary, the state government has designed a robust, inclusive, and forward-looking program framework that reflects the intellectual, cultural, and developmental identity of our state. This includes, among others, a statewide interfaith Thanksgiving services acknowledging divine providence in our journey. 2, a Golden Jubilee lecture under the theme Ondo State, Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow. And 3, grand anniversary of cultural and historical exhibitions celebrating our traditions, art, and heritage. And 4, a gala and award night celebrating excellence and service. Full details had already been communicated by the anniversary planning committee to the public. On the governance front, our administration remains resolute in its commitment to people-centered development, anchored on fiscal responsibility, institutional efficiency, and social inclusion. We are investing in critical infrastructure, urban renewal, healthcare revitalization, education reforms, agricultural value chains, and pursuing economic diversification through strengthening partnerships with the private sector and development institutions. Our objective is to translate policy into tangible outcomes that improve the quality of life of our people in line with our ease policy thrust. Security remains a foundational pillar of development. Through sustained collaboration with security agencies, community intelligence structures, and strategic interventions by the government, we continue to secure lives, farmlands, and investments, ensuring that Ondo State remains a stable and hospitable environment for economic and social activities. As we commemorate 50 years, our gaze is firmly fixed on the future. The next half century must be defined by knowledge-driven growth, industrial competitiveness, environmental sustainability, digital innovation, and strong democratic institutions. We are laying the groundwork today for a state that will not merely respond to change, but shape it. A state where opportunity is inclusive and prosperity is sustainable. Your Excellency, distinguished members of the press, the Golden Jubilee of Ondo State is a collective heritage and a shared responsibility. It belongs to every citizen, young and old, at home and in diaspora. I therefore call on all stakeholders to join hands with government in making this anniversary a celebration of meaning, memory, and momentum. As we honor the sacrifices of yesterday, celebrate the achievements of today, and envision the possibilities of tomorrow, let us reaffirm our faith in the Ondo project. Together, we shall continue to build a state that guarantees fulfillment for everyone. I thank you all. God bless Ondo State.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. God bless you as well, sir. Let me recognize the presence of all the Senior Special Assistant to Mr. Governor and Special Assistant to Mr. Governor on Media. Let me use the Senior Special Assistant to Mr. Governor on Print Media, Mr. Ladi Okuniga, and the Special Assistant to Mr. Governor on Research and Documentation, Ms. Bukola Maha. As a point of respect to you all, you are welcome. Your Excellencies, all other parts of the protocols are respectfully observed. We want to move to the next thing on our agenda, and that is question and answer. And I would like to hand over the microphone to our own Leadership Press Secretary in Ondo State, Prince Ebenisa Adenio, to anchor that particular session. To you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Your Excellency. Please let me recognize the Secretary of the NUG Ondo State Council, Mr. Olaluwa Meshak. You're welcome, sir. Distinguished members of the press, please, if you have questions, please just simply raise your hand. Please do know that your question must be related to the celebration of Ondo State at 50. No outside question, please. Just limit your question to the address as given by Mr. Governor. And when I call on you, just mention your name, skip the protocol. Mention your name, your medium, and go to your question. Just one question, please. If you have multiple questions, please compress everything into one. And we're going to take a maximum of 5 questions.
My name is Dabatoke Okeo. My question has to do with the 50th anniversary. I want to find out, why is it so difficult for civilian governors or governments to create states? Since all the states in the southwest, and even in Nigeria, were created by the military administration. And there are agitation from all quarters for the creation of not only local governments and state governments. So I'm in states, more states. For instance, in Ondo State, some people are agitating for the creation of Oluwa, while some are agitating for the creation of Osrc states. So when you look at this, when you look at it vis-a-vis the agitation for creation of local governments, and the state governors have tried, and they have created LCDAs, which have not been recognized by the Constitution. So what is your take on this, sir? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Okewo. We are celebrating the creation of Ondo State. I'm not sure we will encourage the disintegration of the state into pieces. Yes.
Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tayo Fagui from Futa Radio, sir. My question is, there's going to be a gala night and award night. Can we have a preview to some of the indigenes of Ondo State that will be awarded at that gala night? Thank you very much, sir.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency. My name is Adewale Momo. I report for the Guardian newspaper, sir. Sir, my question is that if you could remember for one signature and a transformation project that will really redefine or define the state for the next 50 years, what will it be, sir? Your Excellency, I asked that if you could have remembered during your tenure for the next 50 years, the transformation or innovative projects for the state for the next 50 years, what will it be, sir?
It is asking about the legacy project that will define the administration of Dr. Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa.
Thank you, sir. My name is Temitope Adedeji. I report for Kaftan Television. Your Excellency, in our findings, before now, we discovered that out of 75 people who agitated for the creation of Ondo State, we only have 3 of them left. About 72 of them, they've gone. Now, out of these 3, we have 1 that came from Ekiti State. As we speak now, is in Ekiti State. Now, we now have the remaining 2 here with us in Ondo State, residing in Akure. One of them is Paruben Fashorat. And the second person is Baba Sende Arugbofa. With these 2 men, sir, what is the state doing? Taking good care, making their names memorable in the history of the state so far. Thank you so much, sir. That's my question.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, sir. My name is Tosi Ajumo. I write for the Nation newspaper. Your Excellency, sir, since January 2025, the federal government has transferred the regulatory oversight through the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, that's NERC, to the state government to take over interstate electricity markets. The transfer autonomy has been completed to at least 7 states. And Ondo State happened to be one of the states that has benefited from this. Mr. Governor, sir, the people of Ondo State would like to know why the delay in Ondo State. Why Ondo State is yet to have an autonomy to oversee its own electricity distribution. Thank you, sir.
Ọlọ́lá gómìnà wa, orúkọ tèmi ni Wahab Bankole, mo ṣiṣẹ́ fún iléeṣẹ́ Osrc. Ọlọ́lá gómìnà ti sọ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìkọ̀gbọ̀gbọ̀n yín àti ohun tí ó jẹ́ ti ayẹyẹ tí à ń ṣe nípa 50 ọdún ti ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo ní èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì. A fẹ́ kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ bá wa sọ ní ṣókí ní èdè Yorùbá wa. Ẹ ṣé ọlọ́lá gómìnà wa. Thank you, sir.
Let me address some of the questions that were raised by the media officers. The first question that has to do with creation of state. That why is it that we've not been able, despite several agitations for state creation, that why is it that it has not been possible that all the states that were created were done during the era of military rule in Nigeria? Nigeria is a federation, and state creation is on an exclusive list, and it can only be done by the federal government, not states. But like you rightly said, that we can create local development area, which we have done in some states, LCDAs, that is within the purview of the state, using the legislative house to effect that. Yes, the agitation is still on for creation of states. And if you could recall that the current constitutional amendment that is ongoing, part of the memos that were submitted by stakeholders include the creation of states. And the National Assembly will have to look into these, and then eventually, if they believe that it should be done, if they were able to agree to meet the requirement, the 2/3 majority from the federal legislative houses, the Senate and the House of Representatives, and also the State House of Assembly, then the state will be created. So it's in the hands of your representatives, not in the hand of the governors. We can only talk about it, but the actual creation has to be done by the National and the State Assembly with the assent of the President. I hope I've been able to answer your question. Now, the second question talked about one of the programs, or rather one of the events during this week of celebration of our 50th year anniversary, which is the Gala and Award Night. And you want to be privy to those awardees. The list is being compiled, but I can tell you, those who have labored for this state, for the creation of the state, and those who have also governed the state at one time or the other, either dead or alive, as long as they have contributed their quotas, even the man who made that pronouncement and created that state in 1976, even though he died 10 days after, General Murtala Ramat Mohammed, will also be honored. So these are categories of people, and some other indigenes of the state that has made mark in their various area of core competence. By the time, just attend the award now, you see all the names, but I've just mentioned to you categories of people that will be honored. The man from Guardian talked about the next 50 years, legacy project that I will be remembered for as the lucky one now who is on the saddle during this 50th year anniversary. This government is will be 1 year as an elected government by February 24th this year. We still have some years to go. But I can tell you that past administrators or governors of Ondo State in the last 50 years have contributed their quotas in the development of the state in different sectors of the economy. That is why Ondo State is where it is today. And if you recall, in the days of Jackson, free education, infrastructure, even when the state was created, Anita David Ikpeme was the first civilian or military administrator. People were traveling from Owo, Ikare, Ondo to come to work in Akure, the capital. There were no offices. Some ministries were in rented apartments. But the story has changed today. So you can see the progression, the development. Each government or governor, either military or civilian, adding one block or the other. In the days of Ajaz, a lot of industries were established. Some are no more today. New ones are coming on board now. A lot of roads were constructed, single lane everywhere, but today we are dualizing some of the roads. Institutions were built, tertiary institutions. Some are currently named after some of these past governors. Adekunle Ajasin University, and so on. Olusegun Agagu, University of Science and Technology. Those ones will remain. I don't intend to start a new university, but there are some other institutions that have been approved by the Executive Council during my time, and they will remain. They might not be named after me, but I will build them. Judiciary complex is there that I'm building. It will remain because law and order will prevail in any society. That will remain there as long as Ondo State remains. We have gotten approval for a major developmental project. Lagos has developed so well today because they have sea, the coastal way, the waterways, and they're able to build a seaport, 2 of them, which has supported industrialization and movement of people from different parts of the country seeking jobs and opportunity in Lagos. And the movement has increased the population of Lagos so well that road infrastructure has to be built and all of these. All that is happening in Lagos today. Ondo State also have similar terrain. We have the coastline, the sea, we have waterways. And by the time the seaport license that we have gotten the approval right now is built, which I believe will be built during my time, it will support industrialization, agriculture, exploration of bitumen, which has been lying there waiting for many years, and movement of people to our region, to our state. And when that happens, you know all the other things that will follow. Schools, hotels, job opportunities that will move people, and then road will be built, and then Ondo State will develop to that level that by the time you will be celebrating Ondo at 70, because I won't be here for Ondo at 100. Well, maybe I will, but that one is in the hand of God. But I can tell you, I will be here Ondo at 70. I'm already 61. So if you add 20 to 61, that will be 81. So I will be very, very much around. But if you are adding 50 to 61, that is 101. I'm not too sure. And we are still on the journey. And society is not static. It continues to evolve. And there are a lot of other things that can be built in the course of the next 3 years. So I don't want to begin to close or foreclose what can happen in the next 3 years. But the one we can see, that is what I'm telling you, the deep sea port, by the grace of God, will be built during our time. The refinery, which memorandum of understanding has been signed, and very soon they will also move to site, will be remembered. At least I will be remembered for that I signed the MOU and laid the foundation. Hopefully, in the next 3 years before I've ended my first tenure, maybe I'll be able to also commission that. Not only that, the fertilizer and petrochemical plant that has gotten approval from even National Security Advisor's Office and MOU have been signed. That is another project that is so dear to my heart, that the groundbreaking will be done in this first quarter of this year. These are major industries that will help Ondo State to develop so fast, apart from other things that will begin to happen in our time. These are legacy projects. Talkback from Kaftan TV, you talk about the founders, those who agitated for the creation of Ondo State, about 75 of them. And we have 3 that are still alive. 1 resides in Ekiti, now part of Ekiti State, and 2 in Akure. You are asking for the support the state has been able to render to them, and what do we intend to do? I can tell you that the 2 elder statesmen that are still alive, that are currently residing here in Ondo State, Parubon Fashoranti and Bashorun Arobofa. These 2 are my fathers, and I relate very well with them. I cannot be telling you what I have done personally to this one and what the government intends to do for them during this celebration of our 50 years of existence. These will not be let out of the Bible. You're beginning to see them in the days ahead. But they have been enjoying, support from the government. I don't know the past administration, but from my own administration, open. Now, Tosin talks about electricity, that the reformation in the electricity sector, the amendment that now allows the state government to generate, distribute, and electricity in their own state, more like autonomy. That what is Ondo State doing in this regard? We are doing a lot. Just that means you have not been following what we have been doing in that sector. We have been doing a lot in that sector. You can see that all the discos, the disco BDC that is operating in Ondo State currently, we are working together, and we have the Ondo State Electricity Regulatory Commission. We regulate, we interface with them. So we are in charge of our own electricity. Yes, we are not generating one for now, but in terms of regulation, distribution, don't forget the old Datiwa meter that we took up when they were giving ridiculous bills to our people. We don't have to take it upon ourselves to subsidize the distribution of meter to our people. If you engage the Commissioner of Energy and Mineral Resources, you will learn more about what we are doing in the area of electricity. And also, if you look at it, that electricity has been very, very constant in some part of Ondo State since we came on board. It's because of the engagement, we'll be having with the distribution company. Yes, there is band A, band B, and all of that. Yes, it's part of it. You see, electricity is not cheap for now, but over time, it's just like when this GSM mobile phone started, it was expensive, but today it's cheap. It's the same thing. Over time, we're going to improve on our administration, and then it becomes cheaper for all. Today, even the street lights that is running on national grid, because of our engagement, if you drive around in Accra at night today, apart from the solar light that we have deployed, those ones on national grid, you can see they are always on. That is to tell you that there is supply of electricity into Ondo State. It's just that some people cannot afford to be on band A because it has a bit of premium. But over time, it will begin to adjust. If you're on band A, you will be having up to 18 hours in a day out of the 24 hours, if I'm not mistaken. More than. Those who are on band A, they say it's more than. So if you can afford it, it's there. It's because of the engagement we have with the electricity company. In terms of pricing, yes, we can't do much for now, but over time, I can assure you that it will be better. Wahab, Osrc, you want Yoruba? Nǹkan tá à ń sọ látàárọ̀ ni wípé ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo wọ́n máa pé àádọ́ta ọdún, ẹ má bínú, àádọ́ta ni mo fẹ́ sọ, àádọ́ta ọdún tí a ti dá ìpínlẹ̀ náà sílẹ̀ nígbà àwọn ológun jagunjagun tó jẹ́ olórí orílẹ̀-èdè nígbà yẹn, General Muritala Ramat Mohammed ní ọdún 1976. A rí i pé àwọn àgbààgbà ìlú ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo nígbà yẹn, tí ìgbà tó ń jẹ́ òṣìṣẹ́ Ondo province, tí wọ́n jókòó tó ń wòye pé kí ìjọba kó ba lè súnmọ́ àwọn àgbègbè wa, pé a ní láti dá ìpínlẹ̀ yìí sílẹ̀ kí ìjọba kó ba lè súnmọ́ àwọn èèyàn wa. Láti ìpínlẹ̀ Western State ni wọ́n yọ Ondo, Ògùn àti Ọ̀yọ́ tí àwa ní ìjọba tiwa láti ìgbà yẹn. A dẹ̀ rí pé àádọ́ta ọdún, a dẹ̀ rí àwọn ìdàgbàsókè tí ó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo láti ìgbà yẹn. Ọmọ tó bá pé àádọ́ta ọdún kò ń ṣọmọ kékeré mọ́. Ó dẹ̀ ti hàn gbangba wípé ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo ti dàgbà, ó ti ní ìgbéga, ó ti ní ìlọsíwájú láti ìgbà yẹn, àti gbogbo àwọn tí ó ń ṣe olórí ìpínlẹ̀ yìí, láti rí àwọn jagunjagun àti ìjọba alágbádá, àti rí àwọn iṣẹ́ ribiribi tí wọ́n ti ṣe. Ìyẹn làwa náà fi lè wà níbí lónìí láti lè ṣe àwọn iṣẹ́ tí àwa náà lè ṣe ní àsìkò tiwa. Ìyẹn là ń jíròrò lé. A dẹ̀ ń fi àsìkò yìí pé gbogbo ọmọ ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo ní ilé lóko kan jáde láti jọ ṣe ayẹyẹ àádọ́ta ọdún tí a dá ìpínlẹ̀ ìkalẹ̀. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ètò láti yàn fún àwọn ọjọ́ kọ̀ọ̀kan. A ṣe ìdúpẹ́ ní ọjọ́ Àlàmísì, Friday, a ṣe ìdúpẹ́ tí a ní mọ́ṣáláṣí. Ní ọjọ́ Jímọ̀ nìyẹn, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Ní ọjọ́ Sunday, a ṣe ti Kristẹni. Ọjọ́ ìsinmi, a ṣe ti Kristẹni, láti dúpẹ́ pé Ọlọ́run wà pẹ̀lú wa láti ìgbà tí a ti dá ìpínlẹ̀ ìkalẹ̀ Ọlọ́run tó wà pẹ̀lú wa ń gbà yẹn wọ́n sì wà pẹ̀lú wa tí dìsìn. Tó bá di ọjọ́ àbámẹ́ta Saturday a ṣe ìrìn fún ìlera torí ìlera lọ́rọ̀ láti ilé iwájú government house láti rìn tí dé ibi pápá ìṣeré stadium wa ní Àkúrẹ́. Ọjọ́ ajé àdára wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ láti ní òye bí àkọlé ẹ̀kọ́ tí a dẹ̀ fẹ́ kọ́ níjọ́ náà ni a fẹ́ wo ìpínlẹ̀ wa Ondo nígbà tó kọjá tí wọ́n dá sílẹ̀, báwo ló ṣe rí, àwọn ló ṣiṣẹ́, kí ni àwọn tó wà nígbà yẹn kí ni wọ́n ṣe. Àtúwá wo Ondo state lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí tí àwa jẹ́ gómìnà lé lórí, kí ni àwọn kan tá à ń rí lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́, àwọn kan tá à ń ṣe. Àtúwá dára lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ pé kí la wá ń wò fún ọjọ́ iwájú tí a filẹ̀ fún àwọn ọmọ àwọn tó ń bọ̀, bí a ṣe fẹ́ kí ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo báwo ló ṣe máa rí ní 50 ọdún síwòyí àbí 100 ọdún sí àsìkò tí ìgbà tán ti dá sílẹ̀. Èyí jẹ́ àwọn nǹkan mìíràn tí a máa gbé yẹ̀wò tó bá lè jẹ́ pé àwa tá a wà ní àléfà lọ́jọ́ tòní ká lè máa mú àwọn kan yẹn ṣe títí àwa náà yóò fi parí àsìkò tí Ọlọ́run bá yànda fún wa láti lò ń bí. A rí pé tá a bá sọ àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tá a bá dára lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ á ṣí wa níyì àti ní òye láti lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nínú wọn. Tó bá dẹ̀ wá di ọjọ́ Tuesday 3rd of February tí Ondo ṣe máa pé 50 ọdún gangan, ayẹyẹ ńlá ni. A fẹ́ fi àṣà wa hàn àti bí a ṣe jẹ́ gangan bí ọmọ ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo láti agbègbè kọ̀ọ̀kan di 18 local government. A fi àṣà wa àti àwọn nǹkan tí wọ́n mọ̀ wá fún gbogbo ẹ̀ la máa fi hàn. Àjò àáyọ̀ tó bá jẹ́ wá di alẹ́ ní ọ̀sán ọjọ́ náà, àwọn adájọ́ àti agbẹjọ́rò gbogbo wọn tó ń pè ní ceremonial court session wọ́n á ṣe yẹn lọ́sàn-án bíi wákàtí kan. Ṣùgbọ́n tó bá di ìrọ̀lẹ́ àwa péjọ fún jíjẹ mímu àti fún dá àwọn ènìyàn lọ́lá, àwọn tí wọ́n ti ṣiṣẹ́ takuntakun láti ran ìpínlẹ̀ láwọn tó tiẹ̀ dálẹ̀ gan àtàwọn tó wà láyé àti àwọn tó ti sùn nínú Olúwa, gbogbo náà la máa dá lọ́lá, àti àwọn ọmọ ìpínlẹ̀ wa mìíràn tí wọ́n ti ṣiṣẹ́ láti jẹ́ kí ìdàgbàsókè kó bá ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo. Tá bá dẹ̀ ti ṣe yẹn tán oníkálukú á máa lọ́ọ́lé ẹ̀. Iṣẹ́ wa kù sọ́wọ́ àwa táwa ń jọba. Ẹ ṣé o.
Ẹ ṣeun gómìnà wa ọlọ́lá jùlọ Lucky Orímisàn Ayédàtiwa, tó túmọ̀ sí pé lẹ́yìn tí a bá ti ṣe ayẹyẹ 50 ọdún tán a tún padà sẹ́nu iṣẹ́ nítorí pé iṣẹ́ lóògùn ìṣẹ́ nípínlẹ̀ Ondo. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We appreciate you. Let me recognize the presence of Honorable Sunday Olajide, a member of the Planning Committee, as well as he is the Honorable Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development. Alem Showore Esquire, Special Advisor Strategic Communication. Honorable Afolabi Adesoji, Honorable Commissioner for Culture and Tourism. Dr. Banji Awolowo Ajaka, the Honorable Commissioner for Health, as well as the member of the State House of Assembly representing Okitipupa Constituency 1, Honorable Chris Odunayo Ayebusiwa. We thank you so very much, sirs, for joining us. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, the gentlemen of the press, at this point I would like to hand over the microphone to the chairman of the Anniversary Planning Committee, the Secretary to the Government of Ondo State, Dr. Taiwo Olumide Fashionati, for the vote of thanks.
Your Excellency, sir, Executive Governor of Ondo State, Dr. Lucky Orimiso-Aiyedatiwa, I want to especially thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this unique celebration. Mr. Deputy Governor, Dr. Laide Wolabi MNI, you're welcome, sir. Mr. Speaker, it be represented by Honorable Begudu, I recognize you. Mr. Chief Judge, sir, you're welcome, sir. Mr. Party Chairman, I recognize you, sir. I plead to stand on the existing protocol. Members of the judiciary, members of the House of Assembly, my colleagues, executive council members, I welcome you all. Thank you for coming. And to the gentlemen and gentlewomen of the press, you're all especially welcome. It gives me great pleasure to be standing here today because I'm a part of history myself. Back in the days when those gladiators were hosting the meetings for the creation of Ondo State, I was a young boy. I used to hide behind the door when they had their meeting late in the night. I didn't know what they were doing. I just knew that they came together, they had a dream. And to be alive today, to witness history, 50 years of the creation of the Ondo State, it's a real blessing. I thank God for good health. And I also want to thank Mr. Governor for creating time and creating the atmosphere for us to be able to celebrate history in the making. I pray that in 20 years, in 50 years, God willing, those who will be here will be here. I want to say thank you once again. We covet your prayers over these next few days and the future for the blessings of Ondo State, so that Ondo State will continue to grow taller, bigger, and more blessed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you as well. On behalf of the state government, we want to thank the men of the 4th State of the realm for attending the World Press Conference heralding the 50th anniversary, and we wish all of you journey mercies back to your destination. We close this meeting in the name of God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. Shall we rise up as we take the anthems? everyone. We wish all of us journey messages back to our destination. Gentlemen of the place, please, let's settle down. Oluola Jula, please go back to your seat.
Please settle down for Mr. Governor to take his leave. Gentlemen of the press, once again, I want to thank you for participating in this press conference. Please, gentlemen of the press, please, I beg you, from this press conference, please take stories, don't take headlines. Please, don't sensationalize what we have done here today. Please, do not write electricity is not cheap. I beg you, please concentrate your story on the activities marking the 50th anniversary of Ondo State. Please keep your tax. You have done accreditation. Keep your tax. That will be your document to enter the activities of this anniversary, with the exception of the Gala night. That of Gala night will be different. We will do a different one for Gala night. Please keep your tax, please.